Friend, what's going on in your life? What's popping? What's tea? Is that my intro? It's something like that. Hey, y'all. Welcome back to the Hey Friends with Laila Alise podcast. Welcome back is probably too strong of a statement because have we even been welcomed? It's been 2 full years, almost 3 years since I talked to y'all. And first of all, I can't believe that it's actually been that long. I done graduated college. I'm 21 now. I got curly hair now. Like, things have changed around these parks. And I am so excited to be back. I have been wanting to come back for a while, but I I was overthinking it. I was overthinking the comeback, trying to make it extravaganza. And it was not giving extravaganza. It was giving, girl, let's get down here. Okay. Turn that camera on, plug up your equipment, and get to talking. And here we are. I did ask y'all to send in some questions for me since I was filming a welcome back episode. I asked y'all to send in questions a couple days ago. And I have them all right here on my phone. So if I'm looking at my phone, I'm just trying to stay on track. Yeah, we got a lot to catch up on, so let's just go ahead and get into some of these questions, because that's pretty much going to do some of my catch up work for me, since y'all pretty much beat me to the punch. Y'all definitely want to get up in my business. So the first question someone asked me is, how has post grad been treating me? And like I told y'all, so I started the podcast when, oh, by the way, I am drinking some Prosecco. So if I am a little belchy, I apologize. But so I started the podcast when I was 16, I believe. Really just wanting a space to talk about the things I wanted to talk about, to really just create my own community and emote and just have a safe space, if you will, for myself and for others. But since then, like I said, I finished high school, graduated college, and here we are. But post grad life has been a whirlwind. It's been a roller coaster, a mix of emotions, really all the things. Like, I definitely feel that my post grad self is different than what I thought she would be. I definitely saw myself just at a different wave in my personal development and my professional career. Like, I saw myself like moved out at this point, definitely working at this point, being more established in my creative outlets and projects. And in fact, I'm like just like trying to start everything from, again, a fresh perspective, because that's not my reality. I graduated college in December and had no job secured, and still don't. I'm still in the job searching process, and I really just had to come to terms with my reality being different than what I had dreamt for myself, or what I imagined for myself, and continuing to allow myself to reimagine those same expectations, right? Because it's not like I am completely struggling or not in alignment, if you will, with what I thought I would be. Like, I, in some ways, am even more than what I thought I would be. I'm even more developed in certain areas, more secure, more confident. And I definitely feel like I've been able to reflect on that. And it definitely took me some time to be able to be comfortable with just, like I'm saying, just my reality right now, because the world and society and people will make you feel bad for not achieving to a certain amount of success, of either what you have held yourself accountable to publicly, or what other people have held you accountable to privately also, which is weird. But people do that. And so I definitely experienced just that peer pressure, that external pressure of being at a certain level of hierarchy and just my reality just not being that case. But even in the ways that I'm even speaking now, like I can't help but think on just like my post grad life being even more fulfilling. Like I have time to, first of all, like even come back to this. I feel like it took me so much longer to come back to podcasting with my studies and just my college commitments that I was, doing at that time, and just not being able to divide my time evenly, or with the things that I really wanted to divide my time with. But now being able to curate my days how I want, being able to study and read the things that I want, and I also feel like post grad life has taught me that learning is never over, that there's always room for development, always room for growth, always room to continue to grow in knowledge and perspective. And I feel that being post grad has given me the opportunity to place value on that, and to just be appreciative also of my pre-grad self, because she would be happy for post-grad self. What she did, what she accomplished, who she is, how she thinks, how she writes, how she speaks, how she presents herself, all those things. It definitely took me a while to get here. I want to say it was around my birthday to where I literally I had an awakening that, hey, this is where you're at. It's up to you to make the most of it. And it's also up to you to get out of it, And so I really have just been putting myself out there, continuing to go on interviews, continuing to just be open to new opportunities, continuing to exercise my creative brain, my intellectual brain, my physical body, all the things, like just being able to restore and put and pour back into myself. I think post grad life has given me, so I would definitely say post grad is hyped up to what it is to be. Definitely, but it may look differently. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, what it is hyped up to be may not look like what that is for you. And I think it took graduating for me to realize that. But I'm still hopeful. I'm still pressing forward and looking forward to what's next in my life. Because this is only a stage, first of all, right? Because I can only be post-grad for so long. I'm still in my bliss a little bit, but yeah, some people be like, oh, I'm post-grad, and they graduated college like 4 years ago. Like, you've been out of college just as long as you was in college, so let's come up with a new identity. You know what I mean? But no, post-grad life has been treating me, I can't say well or bad or good or whatever. It's just been a treat. It's been a treat. The next question kind of goes along with that first question as well. And someone asked, what's something that college taught you that you otherwise wouldn't have learned if you didn't go? And I definitely would say just the ability to thrive in diversity. I feel like before I went to college, I thought that I was open to diverse relationships and diverse opportunities until I actually was put in an environment with diverse opinions and diverse realities and sexualities and religions and politics and all the things that I really had to kind of confront, a lot of things that I maybe probably wouldn't have confronted if I didn't go to college, or specifically the college that I went to. And I think that just being in that type of environment gave me the comfortability to just be able to show up as my authentic yet diverse self, to be able to stand and be secure in my opinions and my politics and my values and morals, and also to be able to find community in that as well. I feel like college gave me the opportunity to see that there are other people my age, younger and even older, who think on the same track as me, who is wanting to strive after the same things that I want to, and even not, we share the same similarities of wanting to be better. And I felt like from where I came from, I struggled with that a lot just in general, of finding people that wanted to do bigger and better with their lives and not just be okay being mediocre. And that's probably a shortcut, but I definitely feel like I learned in college also that just as hard as you can work, that there's someone that can work harder. There's always someone smarter. There's always someone more established, more developed, and that I can't be afraid of that. I can't be ashamed of that either, too. And to really just to be able to step into my authentic self in whatever environment or space, and being okay with how that looks and how that sounds. Definitely, I felt like I picked up going to college and really reflected on and have become even more secure now being post grad. So yeah, I definitely feel like it all depends on what school you go to. It depends on what region you're in as well. But I also feel like it depends on just your willingness to actually grow beyond just your academic grades or accolades, and to really make college a becoming and a becoming experience for yourself. So yeah, I definitely feel like just being able to be authentic and genuine and secure, I feel like I probably would not have experienced independently had I not gone to college. So yeah. Next question. How have you grown between the last episode and now? And what are you most proud of? That's a really good question. I feel like, I mean, it's kind of like what I just said, right? Just being able to see the self growth and personal development within myself, I feel like is just a testimony alone. But I feel like now I'm more comfortable with my emotions, the good, the bad, the happy, the sad. I'm more situated in that emotional and well-being space, because I know that I'm not perfect. I know I'm growing. I know that I also have been hurt, and I also know that I am healed and will continue to do the work to be able to heal. And I feel like myself previously was very insecure about just who I was, not even about like where I was in my life, but literally who I was and what I looked like or what I sounded like, how I thought. I just always felt like I couldn't really connect. And I feel like myself now, with being able to grow my connections, to grow deeper in my relationships and deeper in myself, I've been able to situate, my emotional well-being within myself more securely, in knowing and expressing myself and also naming those emotions, and being able to still be present and communicate and be in relationship. Because I think also my previous self would turn to isolation, would turn maybe also into vitriol or defensiveness. And I feel like now I'm more slower to act, slower to respond, and really just more, I can't really use the word other than present, really. I feel like I've just grown in my vernacular, but also I feel like I've grown just in the ways that I live my life. I make myself, or I've made myself be committed to the things that I enjoy more frequently, and not using the things that I enjoy as a reward or as a treat, but as a daily practice of self-fulfillment. And I continue to honestly be proud of that, and kind of blow my own mind with just how I'm able to use myself, but use the self as a uplifting moment, to not beat myself down, to not talk bad on myself. I'm still working on that, but really seeing refuge in myself. And I feel like I can confidently say that, especially as an introvert too, confidently say that I really have been able to build and find refuge in myself. So I definitely feel like that's something that I have grown and become more comfortable in, that I feel like myself at the last time you all probably heard me was still a little insecure about. But yeah, I mean, I feel like it's also hard for me to like think back on myself then, even though it technically wasn't that long ago. I mean, it was only 2 years ago. But girl, a lot has happened in 2 years. Like, I can't even lie. A lot has happened. Let's see. Next question. Someone asked, what are you having to remind yourself of these days? And I feel like, just on the same track of what I've been kind of explaining, I feel like recently I've been having to remind myself just how far along I've come, how much I've grown, how much I have developed as a woman, not just as a person, but being able to be comfortable in my womanhood and all of what she is. I am having to remind myself constantly that I am the woman, or I am the girl, or I am the lady that my old self wanted to be and looked to be. And even personally, I feel like I've been having to remind myself that I also have done a lot of work to get here, and that I am everything that I want to be. And having to honor that within myself, praise myself for that, and to also walk into my own self-fulfilled prophecy of who I wanted to be, and even what others saw for me, I've been able to walk into as well. And so I've really just been having to remind myself that everything works for the good of those who loves the Lord, but really everything that has worked together for me has built me up to the person that I am. And I've really just been having to remind myself of how great that is, how much of an accomplishment that is alone, and how much that has given me hope in life and breath to continue to strive for the next thing, and to strive to also be present. Yeah, I feel like just reminding myself of essentially just how great I am, how loved I am, how supported I am, how developed I am, how strong I am, how emotional I am, everything. I'm having to remind myself just about myself, you know? And I feel like we all should do better at giving ourselves the time and space to reflect on where we have come from, and to be proud of who we are and who we are continuing to become. And I think that has just helped me to just honor myself more, and just to not take life so serious, you know? I feel like I fall a victim to overthinking, over promising, and just putting my expectations on a pedestal, even of myself. And I have to see myself eye to eye. And I'm constantly also having to remind myself that I am only just starting. I'm only beginning. I'm only 21, right? I've only got 1 degree under my belt. You know what I'm saying? Like, just these things that for some would maybe blow their head up. For me, I'm having to constantly remind myself, yes, and I feel like there's so much power in that space, and especially in that and knowing that two things can be true at once, and that there's also power in duality. And I just I feel good about myself, honestly. And I'm just having to remind myself of that feeling and to continue to, go after that. So hopefully that made sense. Um Next question is, how do I stay grounded with everything going on in the world and the US? Girl, let me take a sip on that. Cuz I just feel like it's such a loaded question. Our climate right now is so contentious. It is so tense, and it is very compelling and consuming. And I'm having to remind myself, well, the question in particular of how I'm staying grounded. I'm having to ground myself in identity, knowing who I am in this world, not just who I am to me, but knowing my identity and my forward facing self to the public and to society in this world, just how much power there is in standing true to that. And for me, that grounds me. Like knowing who I am in this society, knowing my politics, knowing my values, knowing what I believe in, knowing how I show up in this world, that grounds me. And I feel like if you are not able to put language to a lot of those things, that only leaves room for society to derail you off track, and not even to derail you, but again, to consume your living being. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like there has to come a point where you choose the society that you want to live in, and choosing to actualize that person and to consistently show up as that person is the only way to ground yourself in a world that is ever changing, that is always about leveling up, that is always about, these imperialistic notions of success and conquering, that you have to ground yourself by also, for me, resisting a lot of the social scripts that we have been taught about how our lives should go, how you should feel after graduation, or whatever it is, doing the work to resist that, to deconstruct that, so that you are grounded by identity, so that you are grounded by your self-definition of who you want to be, where you want to see, where you want to go. And for me, staying grounded means that I have to resist a lot of things on social media, things or certain conversations that are being had, or really picking and choosing also the things that I want to feed my energy towards. And for me, that looks like solo time, being able to sit in silence, to be able to fulfill myself. And I definitely feel, I definitely feel that being able to understand myself and what she likes and what she likes to do has given me the ability to also ground myself. Like, I love to write, I love to read, I love to create. And so creating literally those avenues for me to do that has been able to keep me grounded. I can't tell you how many like unreleased projects, if you will, that I've like worked on, not for public consumption, simply for private fulfillment. Like, And some of those things probably will never be posted or released, but genuinely being able to serve myself has given me the opportunity to stay grounded in, again, my own identity, and to stay grounded also in the person that I like. Because I want to be grounded in someone that is favorable. I want to be grounded as someone who is loved. I want to be grounded as someone who is a contributor. And I feel like being able to feed myself in those different avenues of creativity and relationships and enjoyment, right? Because I feel like another thing that helps to keep me grounded is to not preserve reward for a later time or when I think I should deserve it, but enjoying it at that very moment. Enjoying the particular accolade or achievement, enjoying the particular space with my relationships and friendships, enjoying the alone time that I'm describing about, right? Like actually putting forth an effort to enjoy life keeps me grounded. Because I am not easily excited about a lot of things. I mean, for me to say that I had fun, I'm like, it was a good time. But it's hard for me to say that I'm having fun because I'm well, what is fun, right? And so I have to constantly allow myself those opportunities so that I know that I'm having fun, or so that I know that I'm enjoying things, or not. And so being able to allow myself those opportunities of self-reward whenever I feel has given me the ability to ground myself more in depth and to ground myself more into not just the person I want to be, but the person that I actively am trying to be. So yeah, that was kind of like a loaded answer, but I definitely feel like being able to also take heed to the resources that are available to me has kept me grounded. Being able to be okay with people in my business, mentors, my parents, my friends, like actually sharing the hard times with my real community, not online, not on social media, not for fake, but with the people that actually know and care about me. Sharing life with them has been able to keep me grounded and to know that that is what matters. Not whatever the hell else is going on in this world, though it matters. And we have fish to fry, okay? But knowing that I can also eat inside. Does that make sense? Okay? Like that's how I'm feeling. So yeah, the next question, which I love so much, asks, what have you learned about sisterhood so far in your 20s? And for me, first off, I love being a sister, particularly a Black sister. Amen. I love being in relationship with other Black women and Black girls who reflect me and as I them. That is what sisterhood is about. What I have learned about sisterhood in my 20s is that sisterhood is not limited to a certain level of experience. You don't have to be a certain age to rock on the porch with your girlfriend. You don't need to be a certain age to sit at the kitchen table with your girlfriend and to go through some mail or to make a meal or to sit there and talk, period. You don't need to be a certain age to enjoy a girls' night out or a happy hour. Because it's not just about a happy hour or a girls' night out. It's about connecting, and particularly memory keeping. And what I mean by that is keeping alive our histories, our experiences, our livelihoods between each other, so that we're able to learn, so that we're able to grow and glean from each other, and to be able to actually actualize those things in our lives. That is not limited to a certain age to then be like, okay, now you need to take sisterhood seriously, or where are your girlfriends at 45? No. Where are your girlfriends at 15? Because that's the problem with a lot of us, is we have made these false notions about women and about sisterhood and girl friendships, that we have created a barrier when it comes to connecting with other women in our real lives. For what? For what? That ain't doing nothing but reproducing the patriarchal notion that all women do is catfight, gossip, and they can't get along. Have you tried? Hello? That's why I'm like, where are your girlfriends? Girlfriends. Yeah, we're bringing that term back, because that's another thing. Y'all be scared to call each other girlfriends. Y'all over sexualize everything when it comes to women and women relationships, or sister on sister relationships. Do you have a sister? Do you understand what I'm saying? There is so much more to just having friends, but you have to build a literal hood of people that are able to cover you when you're down, that are able to lift you up, that are able to celebrate with you. When you have an achievement, can you call 5 girlfriends to show up for you? Like, we need to be, as Black sisters and women and girls, we need to be thinking about those things. Not saying that it is a personal failure if you don't have girlfriends, but it is a opportunity to self-reflect. Why do I not have meaningful relationships? Why don't I have sisters that I can call on? Or why am I not calling on the individuals that want to be sisters to me? Why am I struggling to open myself up to people that care about me? These are the type of things that individually and within individual sisterhood communities we need to be addressing. And it is not limited to a certain amount of experience. It is not limited to an age. It is not limited to a certain level of financial attainment. You need to be working on your community now. Now. Because when things get hard and when things get better, you want people to speak on your behalf even when you're not there. You want people to be, dare I say, even praying for you when you're not asking for it. You want people to, baby, when I tell you I'm so in sync with my girlfriends, I can think about them and I get a text. You need to build synergy with your girlfriends. That is what I have learned about sisterhood in my 20s. Sisterhood is about synergy. Being on the same wavelength of value, of love, bonding, true friendship, okay? Do you have sisters? So get y'all some sisters. And if you don't have any, work on getting there. Do you understand what I'm saying? Okay? So for some lighthearted questions, do I prefer online or in-person shopping? I'm not gonna lie. I'm an in-person shopper. Okay. I need to touch the things. I need to see the things. I need to go through the racks. I need to see the store. I need to be helped or not. Yeah. I also am an in-person shopper, though not frequently, but when I do, I'm very meticulous. Like, I need a schedule. I need to pick an area of the city, right? Don't nobody want to be driving all over the place. Girl, we supposed to be shopping. not driving. So I'm gonna pick a spot and we're gonna go to town. Yeah. So if you're not ready to shop, don't shop with me. You know what I mean? Like, I hate the people that be rushing you. Oh, what are you looking for? I don't know. Not you. Hello, get on my face. You know what I mean? Like, I think we have taken the fun away from in-person shopping. But online shopping, though, I mean, I will online shop if I like absolutely need to. I was gonna say maybe if I need something quick, but nah, like I will take myself to the store. I don't care. Like, I've built such a recognizable style that even when I go in a store, I can recognize that I can wear that. I'm gonna get that and I'm out of here. You know what I mean? I feel like we have to get better at style. Like, F the clothes. Do you have style, my girl? Like, yeah. I'm gonna go in person shopping because I need to see the style. You know what I'm saying? I will online shop if I need like a particular something. And I don't even like shop off of like what people recommend and anything like that, because I know that's how a lot of people get trapped into online shopping. It's the influencer gate. But nah, if I do online shop, I mean, I'm probably getting like things or items, not necessarily like actually clothes. Excuse me. The next question is, what is my favorite hairdo? And I'm not gonna lie, my favorite hairdo for a while was a straight bob. But my hair's not straight no more. You know what I mean? So that definitely was my style of choice. But I can't lie, I definitely feel like I've had every hairstyle. I done had cornrows, straight backs. I done had weaves. I done had wigs. I done had braids. I've experimented a little bit with color. I done did straight. I done did curly. I done did wavy, leave out, lace, closure, frontal. Girl, you name it. I probably have done it. But now I would say anything curls. Like, even when I wear my curly wigs or my curly extensions, like, I just feel more like, I didn't want to say at home, but I just feel more like myself. But yeah, I mean, I feel like it changes for me. I love changing up my hair. But look, me trying to fix my hair. But I definitely currently am in my curly stage. I'm loving everything curls. So yeah, I will probably be rocking probably some more curly extensions this summer. But my favorite hairstyle right now is curly fro. Curly fro. So yeah, I also got a lot of questions on some culture topics that y'all wanted to know my thoughts and opinions on. And some of these I do have a lot to say. Some of these I don't, because some of y'all know this. I don't know if I've shared this a lot, but I blocked all the T pages. Shade Room, Neighborhood Talk, Hollywood Unlocked, all of them gone. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it. I don't want to hear it. Nothing. I would rather get my news from the people that I follow and that I want to hear from, rather than like unsolicited. Cause they be everywhere, even on Facebook. Like, I don't even like engaging on Facebook too much, because the mis and disinformation on Facebook is insane. But that's the topic for another day. So yeah, I don't really see a lot of like what's tea, if you will, unless I am like scrolling on TikTok, or if I'm watching like one of my favorite yappers on YouTube that will talk about it in one of their videos or on their lives. But some of these topics I do have a lot to say on, because I have been seeing a lot of commentary on, and I have my own commentaries. So yeah, we're just going to get into it. So the first culture topic I want to talk about is Nicki Minaj and her whole MAGA personality. First off, tomato, boo, 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 boo. Nicki, I don't know why you trying so hard to stay relevant when all you had to do was rap. All you had to do was rap. We didn't ask you to talk to Erica Kirk. We didn't ask you to get chummy chum with Donald Trump. We didn't ask you to get on countless platforms and say homophobic and coloristic shit. We didn't ask for that. Coloristic is probably not a word. Colorist shit. Excuse me. We didn't ask for that. We asked for you to get in the studio, to leave Cardi alone, and to make your beats and your verses and your features and be the queen that you say that you are. But quite frankly, I'm not seeing it for you. I'm not. 80% of your audience is LGBTQ, and you're saying homophobic stuff about gay men. Let boys be boys and this and this and that. Girl, your husband wouldn't let girls be girls. Yeah. Because he was in their pants, in their business. Probably some boys too. Your brother did the same. Allegedly. Why don't you worry about that? But that's her problem. She's trying to get close and in proximity to power so that she can use her influence and her power to smooth over the stuff that ain't favorable in the public's eye. We haven't forgot. Matter of fact, the government hasn't forgot because your brother and your husband are registered sex offenders. So we haven't forgot. We haven't forgot. It's you that think that we forgot. It's you that's a little bit too much and you forgot who you were. I'm not seeing it for you, Nikki. I don't have anything nice to say about her. And the fact that she has been able to, which I thought that she has said some colorist things about dark-skinned black women before. Because even the way when her and Megan was beefing, I didn't like that. Like, why are you talking about someone's dead mother? And then the fact that she really believes that she's like a chosen child of God. Girl. What? I don't even think she believed what's coming out her mouth. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? You haven't had a good verse since Motorsport. Nobody's really talking about your albums. And that's what I'm saying. Like, you need to be, since you want to rave and claim that you are the female rapper of this time, get in the studio and just rap. Like, what is so hard about celebrities doing what they do? Why do y'all want to keep crossing over into spaces and industries that you have no business being in? And then you wonder why people are not following you and why people are not connecting with you. You're inauthentic. You're rude. I don't see it for you, Nikki. I don't. Like, I don't think she said or been involved with anything recently. I know she was down there at the Republican conferences and shit like that. You know, posed up, shaking Trump's hand and stuff like, ooh, get away from me. Get away from me. Get away from me. Get away. Get away, girl. Like, move away from me with that Apollo. Go on, wig. Please. Like, I'm over it. Yeah. I'm not seeing it for Nikki. At all. At all. But yeah, I'm like, do we know her voting records? Let's bring that to the table. Because did you even vote in the previous elections? And how did you vote? Because I don't think that these ideologies and these political opinions of hers are out the blue. I'm pretty sure she said some problematic shit before, especially about dark-skinned women. But I could be wrong. But I don't have anything nice to say about Nicki and MAGA. I think she's an opportunist. I think she's on the edge of her career, the end of her career, excuse me. The raps are not giving, particularly the songs are not giving. Your character is a mess. I What is there left to offer other than an old BBL and the same pink and blonde hair? Next, you know what I mean? Bye, Nick. No shade. Um, this one I don't really have too much to say because I didn't watch, but somebody asked me about Kevin Hart's comedy roast and my opinions on it. I only saw a couple of clips on TikTok, and I didn't really listen to it long enough to even hear the jokes because I get cringed out very, very, very easily. And as soon as my face goes I have to scroll. I have to scroll. If my soul not feeling it, my fingers not. So I did see a couple clips, but I can't even recite what I saw. And I even tried to look up a couple of clips before this, and I couldn't even sit through what I saw. So first of all, a 3 hour 24 minute or however long the heck it is too long to begin with. Who's watching that? Who's watching that? I mean, only person that I will watch for hours on end is probably T.S. Madison and Craig on Fact Talk. That's about it. But a roast that wasn't really giving roast. It was giving this was a political conference of actors. And y'all wanted to band together for Project 2025. I don't know what y'all thought, but no. And then I saw Kevin Hart post a video, I want to say a day or two after, basically saying that's how a roast is done and yada yada yada. And I really think y'all might be mad at me, but I don't really care. I really think Kevin Hart is a coon for that. Because the fact that you sat there and then came back and doubled down on everything that everybody said about George Floyd, about shit, I can't even remember. I know I saw some jokes about Cheryl Underwood's husband, which I love Cheryl. I heard she did well. Regina Hall, I saw her face. Everybody memed her up real quick. But even her comedy set, I was like, and when I tell you I love Regina Hall, baby. That would be my guest of interviews to start with. Give me Regina Hall. When I tell you I love Regina Hall, I love Regina Hall. But the set or the clip that I saw, she was talking about her poo nanny, and I was just like, what does this? I thought this was about Kevin. It's easy to roast him. Why are y'all talking or roasting about George Floyd when Kevin Hart is literally sitting there? Hello? What are we watching? And I'm saying that Kevin Hart is a coon for that because you're exploiting Black women and Black police brutality for coins, for exposure, as one of the most famous, well-known, world-known comedians. You needed this for more exposure? How many comedy specials does he already have on Netflix? 2 or 3? So you needed to add another one with even more controversy? This got y'all messed up. I'm not here for it. Why? What was the reason? I need help because I can't find it. I'm finding it and I haven't found it. What is funny? What's funny? Then I seen a clip of Tiffany Haddish talking about, oh yeah, that's how a roast goes and yada yada yada. And then she was like, oh, all the people that had something to say and weren't invited. Tiffany, Tiffany, where is your comedy special? Where is your roast? Because the people don't have anything favorable to say about you. So again, I say, Tiffany, where is your special? Because you ain't been popping since Girls Trip. And even since then, to my point, ain't nobody said anything favorable about you. You do too much. You talk too much. You act like you still in the trenches. It's not a good look. It's really not. And I actually kind of like thought you were a little funny in the beginning. But I don't see it for you. I don't. I don't. And then I'm like, girl, you've been quiet and somebody asked you something on TMZ and you was trying to get activated from that. Tiffany. Tiffany. Please. So yeah, that's really my opinion on Kevin Hart. I didn't watch it. I couldn't stand the clips. So if y'all watched it, let me know what they said more and maybe we can talk about it next week. In particular, to the jokes and stuff like that, because like I said, I didn't watch it, so I don't have any critique on the show or, like I said, any jokes. But from what I saw, it didn't laugh. And quite honestly, there are so many people that say Kevin Hart is not funny. I'm starting to see it. Like, he's giving me some Terry Crews energy. I'm not here for it. I'm not. I'm not here for you, Kevin. You got a lot of work to do. And I think you're more funny more times than not. But this right here is giving very cool. So, tomato. Next one. This is interesting. Like, when I actually saw this, I was like, So somebody asked about the circus. Do I think it is animal abuse? And what about the zoo? And it's not funny, but it's funny to me because as a kid, I don't even think I ever went to the circus because I was scared of clowns. And if I did go to the circus, it was maybe once. But I never got into like the circus and stuff like that. Like, that wasn't really my forte. But me currently speaking on the topic, excuse me, y'all, this Prosecco got a girl belching. So sorry. Do I feel like it's animal abuse? Probably so. You know what I'm saying? You got these wild animals in these commercialized environments. First of all, that's the biggest problem. Why are we commercializing wild animals? But that's the problem with consumerism. It's probably some abuse going on for sure. Like, yeah, I definitely think that some circus they need to actually do a documentary on Netflix or something about Circus Soleil or something. Like, what are the big circuses? They need to do a deep dive on that. Because I remember, this is kind of related but not really. But I remember watching a sea life documentary in my science class. And they talked about the abuse or just the lack of humane care, should I say, that a lot of the sea life experienced, and how like there were accidents because of the animals essentially being aggravated, and when given the opportunity to essentially be an animal, they attacked. So I definitely feel like those same practices are done so in the circus, and to her point in the question about the zoo, I definitely feel like those same things are exercised in the zoo. Now, do I think that zoos shouldn't exist? Not necessarily, because I do appreciate the educational level that is involved with zoos, but they should be more so of like a wildlife center or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Something that isn't extracting them from their environment, or if it is, there are wildlife resources available or wildlife habitats that can be curated, or you know what I mean. I definitely feel like there's some fishy stuff going on in that industry, because even with like the wild cat owners, like Curl Baskin and Joe Exotic, when that whole thing came out, and like that's an actual community of people that will host wild animals, you know what I'm saying, and will then use it or use them to, or as a stream of revenue. Because let me sit up. I feel like you dog breeders need to come to the front, because the obsession with the animals is really freaky to me, because y'all be the same ones who feel like dogs should be in public environments when they should not be. Y'all are the same ones that when somebody is scared or allergic to dogs, y'all don't put the dog up, or y'all lie and say the dog is hypoallergenic. Y'all be the same people that don't have boundaries when it comes to animals. And that's my problem. You know what I mean? Y'all be putting more value on the animal's life than the humans. Oh, don't touch that. It's an animal. Or don't hit her. That's an animal. Bitch, what about me? What? Like, I definitely feel like the animal community, y'all gotta reorder y'all priorities. Because for real, y'all need to just be worried about the endangered and extinct species if you care about animals. And if you really care about animals, why are you not vegan? Hello? If you really care about animals, why are you wearing fur and leather? If you really care about animals, it should be a lifestyle, no? So it shouldn't, I don't know. The animal people are weird to me. It's very weird. It's very white centric, very, very much in the world of consumerism and capitalism. I'm not a fan. I don't even like animals, so I'm already on the opposite side of that. But yeah, I think some animals need to be free from y'all, because y'all be passing on like y'all attacking spirit and energy on these animals that otherwise would not be like that. You know what I mean? Like, it's some fishiness there for sure. So yeah, somebody get working on that documentary for sure with Circus Olay. I'm sure there's like some documentaries out there, but they need to mainstream it for sure. Now, this next topic, I really hope I don't get stuck here too long. Dr. Cheyenne, well, Dr. Lion, hello, and the PhD scandal. What are my thoughts? Let me just go ahead. Cheyenne, Miss Bryant, where is your dissertation? Where is your dissertation? The fact that she asked for her dissertation and the response was, I can't find my transcripts, immediately my antennas went up. Because first of all, that wasn't the question. Now, was it extra details that could have been omitted or included or not, whatever? Sure, if that's a part of the story. But again, I say, Cheyenne, where is your dissertation? Let me play y'all this clip because let me also preface this by saying this. I never seen any of her interviews with any of these people that she's claiming as sessions. Hello. I never saw her interview with Shannon. I'm not calling that man Shay Shay. I never saw her interview with him. I never saw her interview with Nick Cannon. Never saw her interview with B. Simone, Cam Newton, any of these manosphere people. And that's the... Let me backtrack on that. Let me find this clip for y'all. Okay.
About your doctorate because people can't find your dissertation online. Mm-hmm. How are you responding to that in this new era of your life?
I'm going to clear it up once on here. I'm not doing it again. And I'm clearing it up for my doc squad, for my fan base, for my audience who deserve to hear me address it.
Pause. If they deserve to hear you address it, again, I say, where is your dissertation? If your audience deserves your truth, where is your dissertation?
I ran into 6 degrees, 3 doctorates, a master's degree,
Why are you lying? 3? Hold on.
I ran into 6 degrees, 3 doctorates, a master's degree, a house at 19, my first home, a daycare at 19, 3 retail stores on Merrill's.
Damn, you was a professional student.
It's very simple. I went to a school.
3 doctorate degrees. Hello? 3 doctorate degrees and you can't find 1 dissertation? A thesis from your master's then? What? Girl, okay. Let's finish her interview with Breakfast Club and then I'll share my final thoughts on this.
The conversation about your doctorate because people can't find your dissertation online. Mm-hmm. How are you responding to that in this new era of your life?
I'm going to clear it up once on here. I'm not doing it again. And I'm clearing it up for my doc squad, for my fan base, for my audience who deserve to hear me address it. For the folks who have already made up their mind to not like me or not understand me, listen, I don't give a fuck what your narrative is. I would like for you to recreate it, double down on it, and run that shit.
Will.
Because I don't give a fuck about it. Now, to my doc squad, my fan base, my folks, my village, it's very simple. I went to a school, Argosy University, completed an entire program. I went back online to get my official transcripts because I was applying to a law school many years ago to be a professor there.
Pause. Whoever this law school is, I'm so glad she didn't name who this school is. That's probably exactly why you didn't get the job. You don't have it. Hello?
I had to provide my transcripts, right, to get hired. And I went to contact the school and say, hey, I need my official transcripts. I need my entire thing. And there was no school. I was like, okay, I'm confused. I Google. It says this school has been shut down. I said, oh, well, they got to have records. I mean, they were accredited when I attended the school. They were accredited when I finished the program. I go and look, there is a third party that has the records. Why I contact the third party, that third party only holds records for 2 years. I was passed.
Pause. I have heard people who have made comments that went to Argosy University and they have said that that's a lie, that they can still access their transcript and all their other documents through parchment. But it's also a lie that Argosy was accredited. Folks are saying that they never had an accredited PhD program for psychology. And to her point, which is why they were shut down. Excuse me. Sorry, y'all. But that's why they were shut down. They never had an accredited psychology program. She is not the only one that is a victim of these universities who are non-accredited and end up getting a meat busted and have to shut down. And even prior to a lot of these graduates wondering why they can't get jobs in their industry because their program is not accredited at their university, let alone the university being accredited. And ain't Argosy like an online school? And you got a doctorate from there? Even if it was real, I wouldn't be going to her. Are you okay?
My 2 years. So that means that I had no access to records. And then I contacted, financial aid. You can't make up financial aid. It shows that I paid for a doctoral program alongside my
Doctoral?
master's program and my undergrad program. And they said, we can fully refund you your money under one circumstance. We give you your money back. You don't get credit for not a class, a course, a program you took in this university, at this institute. So do you want us to refund you? Or do you want us not? I said no, because I didn't want to risk the chance of them saying, well, we're going to give you back your money, and it wipes out your entire program. Luckily, I had, I do this with all of the schools. I had downloaded from the actual student portal my transcripts at that time.
Pause. So you can Lyanna! So you can download your transcripts from the student portal, as you said that you've done multiple times, but you can't you don't have a downloaded dissertation. You don't have a downloaded master's thesis. You don't have a downloaded transcript. This right here got y'all messed up. She is so narcissistic. She got some tendencies up in there. And the lack of accountability, emotion, remorse, you name it. It's not being shown. Like, the cognitive disassociation that this lady is showing is crazy as a psychology expert. What?
And I was able to get just about all of my transcripts, including up to like dissertation. But everything else, there's just no holding take for any of our records, which I think is completely effed up. Just in
They
general.
are going to kill you online this week. They're going to say she has no records. They just want to hate you regardless.
Let me also say this. Stop saying people are hating. Stop it. That's the problem with you light-skinned privileged girls in particular, with your soft coils that can straighten real nice, and your light bright skin and your perfect brows and your perfect teeth and your perfect body. You get on these platforms and you're just able to say anything. First of all, a doctor wearing a chain that says doc on it, red flag. Why do you have so many chains with a doc on it? That's how you knew it was only about the title to her. Come to find out, people are saying that it's being speculated that she never even got her master's. It says on her website that during her master's program, she decided to pursue her doctorate degree, but don't have proof of neither. I want to say there's proof of her bachelor's, but at this point, I don't even know about that. But I'm going to give her bachelor's, right? Sure, I'm going to give you your bachelor's, girlfriend. But where is your thesis and where is your dissertation? I know one of them doctorate degrees is an honorary doctorate. So, boop, 2 doctorates. You can't find two dissertations in 2026. People can find documents, school documents from the 1900s, 1800s. If it's in a database, it's in a database. It's published. Where are your things? Where are your things? And then the fact that there's plasters of certificates and all kinds of stuff that we don't even know what the heck it is at this point, because we can't find her degree. You telling me you got a whole wall framed of a bunch of certificates and probably printed emails, but you don't have your degrees on the wall? That's why I know you lying. Because you got everything else printed and framed but the degree. And this is really dangerous. The fact that you are supposed to have been a practicing therapist, according to some people, that she actually has had and taken clients before, and you never had a doctorate degree or a valid license at that point. And then here she, well, I don't need a doctorate to have a license. Nah, duh. But we also can't find your thesis. You won't provide it either. So not only that, she's coming out with a book, and now her publisher is having to refund people's money because of misleading them to believe that you are a doctorate or a doctor of psychology. Keep it up, Cheyenne, and you're going to have a fraud case in a minute. Keep it up, and you're going to have to be paying some money to the courts and your lawyers here. Because let somebody start a class action suit who has participated in your courses, paused, and the girl is is charging $750 for a 50-minute session. $750 for a therapy session? Not even an hour, girl. A lawyer don't even charge that much. But the people that, well, maybe a lawyer, but the people are saying that typically for somebody like her, sessions are really no more than 200 or 3 something, whatever. 750. Girl, I could have got my hair installed for longer than 50 minutes for $750. Where is your dissertation? You can't even tell us what it was about. I don't trust anything coming from your mouth. And the fact that she has been able to go on these platforms and just spew and repeat the same thing that somebody has posted on a meme before is crazy to me. It's not even the fact that I don't like her because of this scandal. I just don't like her because I don't like what she says. She is male-centered. She reproduces patriarchal norms for women and men. Just because she read Nick Cannon about having a bunch of kids and Cam Newton about having a bunch of kids, anybody could say that. It don't take no doctor of psychology to notice that. She's not okay, man. She's not okay. And to my point, keep it up. You're going to have a fraud case on your table in the next couple of weeks. She going to go on, I don't answer to people. I answer to God. Oh, you're going to be answering to somebody. Who are you? Is Cheyenne even your name? I don't...
I ran into
Cheyenne, I'm going to say this and I'm going to leave it. If you can post your thesis and your dissertation, I'll take everything back. Moving on. Last topic that somebody wanted to know my thoughts on was, my friend actually asked this, basically asking, like, we talk so much about what our culture is suffering in or not doing well in, but what are the things that as a culture we are prevailing in? And I will say that I feel as though we definitely on the mental health track have gotten better with recognizing the importance of mental health awareness, mental health resources, mental health professionals. I definitely feel like as a society, particularly as a culture, particularly as a Black culture, we have gotten better with the normalcy of that. I still don't think we've gotten to the point of acceptance. I do think that as a culture, though, to answer the question about what we're prevailing in, I do feel like as a culture, we have gotten better with utilizing our advancement of resources, for the greater good of things. But then it's like the downside of that, I can't help but think of AI. And I'm like, this is not a good thing. Like, I feel like there are so many, catch 22s that in the sense of like, there are things we are progressing in as a culture and a society. And at the very same underlying issue or topic or, we still are struggling in those same areas. And I feel like us as Gen Z are the ones that are trying to prevail in those areas that we're still struggling in, but of the normalcy in a lot of these taboo topics and issues, we can only get so far. And I feel like being able to prevail in some of these societal taboos or norms or customs, if you will, that are not really normal and customary. I do feel like we are prevailing in becoming more comfortable in truth telling and telling the truth about these systems, about these heteronormative ideas that have been indoctrinated to us, that have been passed down to us. We have gotten better at calling that shit out. Exactly. I don't think we're getting better at accountability though, because we're able to call it out and then it's like, well, what about, and it's like, girl, we're not talking about that. We're talking about, can we talk about this? And a lot of people have been saying, well, why are we so concerned about Dr. Cheyenne when we have so many bigger fish to fry? We could have a buffet of fish: tilapia, catfish, swai, cod, and all the other things, salmon, and we could have some crawfish on the table. What? Who said we had to fry one fish at a time? That is also the problem with this society. Y'all only want to pick and choose the things you want to address when all of these things are interconnected. Like, we have to stop that. And we also have to stop shaming people for not being driven by the things we are driven by. Drive in your lane. Let others who are able to merge. Do you understand? Stop that. Because it really just shows your lack of capacity that you need to work on to be able to endure multiple things at once. Stop that. Back to the question though, I definitely feel like as a society, we are progressing. As a younger society, I definitely feel like we're doing a lot more than I think people are giving us credit for. It's just a lot of work to do, period. Like, I don't think we're ever going to prevail in anything until a lot of these systems become deconstructed. And that's just my feministic thought. But yeah. Okay, so that is pretty much it for the culture topics. Like I said, if y'all want to talk more about these, send some stuff my way. I would love to kind of come back to some of these topics, just like I said, because I didn't really get involved with a lot of these. Refresh my memory. We could definitely talk about this again or some other similar things. But my DMs are always open, DM me on Instagram at Laila.Alise. That's Laila.Alise. 2 E's at the end. And to end our podcast off, I'm going to end with this question. My homegirl asks, what is your vision for the future of this podcast and where are you hoping to take it? And in all honesty, my vision for this podcast is to continue to bring forth topics and conversations that otherwise would not be brought up, whether that involves our political climate, our social climate, even our own personal inner doings. I want to bring forth just more of those conversations that I think people are missing, and the nuances involved in those, the context involved in that, the history maybe involved in that. I want to bring a unique perspective to conversation, period, and a unique lens to think about these conversations futuristically and presently. And so my future, or my vision of this podcast, is to continue to, I guess truth telling is the theme today, but continue to use this as a platform to truth tell, to tell the truth about and against these systems, about these ideologies that are plaguing us, about just our mindsets that are not serving us well, and being able to do that in a place of community and love and radical empathy. And that is something that I personally strive for, that I personally am committed to. And I want to be able to creatively commit to that as well. And so I see myself getting more in depth in my interviews. I'm excited about interviewing people based on their life and their expertise and their specialty, and really diving into what we can take from that, how we can grow from that. I definitely see the production upscaling in this piece. Okay, I definitely see myself hopefully being able to rent out an office space so I don't have to take up so much of my own personal space to be able to creatively produce. I see a lot. I mean, I see myself also growing on this space, the community being able to grow through this space. I see myself connecting with y'all. Like, this is really our show. This is called Hey Friends with Laila Alise for a reason, because y'all are here with me. Y'all were involved in this conversation, and y'all are helping to drive this forward too, you know? I appreciate, even when I was podcasting more frequently, I appreciated when y'all would DM me your thoughts on the episode and just talking more extensively about the topic at hand. I really appreciate that. So please continue to, reach out and even offer topics, offer opinions. Maybe one of these episodes we could do like a call-in episode, like a live episode. That's one of my visions. I also see being able to just diversify this podcast to not just be like a sit down, we talk about a topic, but some stuff be lighthearted and fun, like live streaming with some of my friends and just kind of doing like a live podcast of what we would normally talk about. Yeah, new guests, fresh topics, fresh hair girl, all the fresh things, all the new things. I'm excited to be back. Thursdays, I think we're gonna stick with Thursdays as our day. But y'all will know if I change that. But so far, I like Thursdays as our published days. But yeah, I'm excited to just get back into it. I feel like I be having a lot to say. And I want to be able to say that, you know what I mean? So sometimes, I might cuss a little, I might get enraged a little, I might cry a little, I might be real funny certain episodes, I might be real, not dry, but more serious, I want to be able to be my robust self, and I definitely see this show and this podcast being exactly that, robust in topics, robust in feelings, robust in information, and robust in entertainment. At the end of the day, I want y'all to be entertained and engaged. So yeah, that is pretty much the it for this episode. Hopefully y'all enjoyed it. Hopefully this gave y'all a little nostalgia of our old podcast days. To y'all who have stuck by me even during the hiatus, who have came back, I appreciate y'all so much. Thank y'all for listening to me and my thoughts and my words. I can't wait to give y'all more. I do have some exciting news. I am working on a Substack for you guys, really for me, but for y'all to also engage with. And that's really just going to be my intellectual space where I share some of my writing, some of my journals, some of my personal essays with y'all just on various topics, various cultural issues. It's like I said, it's going to be more intellectual, not necessarily educational, but more so intellectual. So for you all who are into deep thought, deep reflection, just robustness, if you will, that space is definitely going to be for you. So stay tuned for my Substack to drop. I have a couple things already written. I just need to edit some things and just kind of figure out, my voice on there. But hopefully this time next week, or whenever, this time next week, gotta speak into existence. When the next podcast episode is up, hopefully that Substack will be up and with something for you all to read as well. I'm gonna treat my Substack kind of like a extended podcast, kind of like extended newsletter, if you will. So like I said, be open to that. I will be sharing more information on that when I get it all published and up and ready for you guys. So yeah, I'm excited to continue to bring y'all along this journey of mine, to continue to grow, to continue to share in these spaces and conversations, and to grow our community. So if you made it this far, thank you so much for listening, and I will see y'all in the next episode. Bye, y'all.